So we're in this we're in this concentration space, and one of the things that I want to emphasize this morning with concentration, because I personally suffered with this for a long time, with concentration, many years before I I learned to find some balance with it. Is it we're just not wired to concentrate. We really have not trained in concentration at all. There are so many of these things we haven't trained in, and concentration is one of them. And what these practices really, when we start to really say, okay, let's settle out, let's really bring attention to more or less to one object, to one vicinity. We always say, bring the attention to the vicinity of the breath. Yeah. As when we say bring it right to the dot with the breath, it can get very, very stressful. But even when we try to bring the attention to the vicinity, it's unbelievable. It's almost unbelievable to us, to each of us, how difficult it is to stay. Well, we're being asked to stay and to stay with a certain ease in the present moment. And it becomes a very, very humbling to see just how challenging it is for us. And the first approach to it is to ratchet it down and to make more effort. Yeah. I mean, look, the instruction is so simple. Just stay with the flow of sensations of the breath. Just stay present to the flow of sensations of the breath. This is what's tricky because the instruction, and so many of the instructions with meditation are so simple and sound so straightforward. And we've done so many more complicated things in our lives than that, right? And yet, in attempting to do that, we feel completely unequipped. It's like, why does the mind keep sliding away again and again and again? It must be that I'm not sincere enough, right? It must be that I'm not trying hard enough. So let me try harder. Yeah. It's a very natural thing. So with concentration practice, remember those times in school when you had a pass-fail test? You know, it was either pass or it was fail. With concentration, it's like you're either kind of with it or you're not. There's no in between. You're either in the vicinity of the breath or you're not. You know, you're either staying with it, kind of, or you're not. And a lot of the times, you're not. A lot of the times, it's like, wait a minute, how does this thing keep slipping away? How does this keep thing? And there tends to be an over-efforting, a striving. I like the word striving, you know. We can all get caught up in striving in various ways, but concentration practice really brings that forward, really brings that forward. When we're just kind of doing open-minded mindfulness, yeah, we know we're scattered, we're not present a lot, but we're kind of present, kind of present. When you do concentration practice, you realize, oh, I thought I was kind of present, but wow. If somebody had asked me on a scale of one to 10 how present I am, I would say about a 5 or a 6, you know? But when we do concentration practice, you see you're at about a 1 on a scale of 1 to 10. Right away, it becomes clear there's so much more nuance. There are so many more levels of subtlety. There's so many levels to concentration. Yeah, there's so many levels to it. And we're at level 1. Most of us are at level 1. You know, and part of that is hard to believe, and it's also hard to accept. It's hard to accept that that's really true, and we want to get it, get more present, a little more present. And so the secondary qualities that start to show up in the development of concentration are as important as the development of concentration itself. And those qualities are patience and kindness. Patience and kindness. Because what will show up what you start to learn about yourself is, what is it like? This is the paradigm for us. What is it like to be attempting to cultivate something that I'm not very good at? And what comes up when I'm attempting and I stay with it, I keep trying and I'm not very good at it. Okay, so this is a proxy for whatever other thing that you want to do and you're not very good at. Now, for some of you who've played an instrument, you might understand that. You're going to have to cultivate patience and a certain kind of kindness and ease to play an instrument, or you're not going to play it you're not going to play it at all, right? And it's kind of like that with concentration practice. We very quickly, it can lead to frustration, can lead to great impatience. There's so many, for years, right, a long time, I would practice concentration and end the session angry, angry, angry with myself, angry at the world, irritated, more irritated, rather than less, right? And that can be so. It's so important right away, from my point of view, to emphasize this for you. We have to cultivate that little bit of that inner compassion, that little kindness, that bit of humility around this. Oh, this is a brand new practice. Yes, I have enough concentration to not walk into things when I'm walking through the world. I have enough concentration to do a lot of the things that we need to do, you know. And when I really have to put a needle through a thread, well, maybe I can do that. I mean, sometimes we have to, get more focused, right? There are a lot of ways. We have to get a little bit more focused, hopefully, when we're driving, right? All good there. But when we're bringing forward concentration in meditation, it calls for way, way more concentration than that. Way more, way more. And it's just like, oh, there's a dial here, but I've never needed to turn up that dial with concentration. I've never needed to, and never have, really. Never really have. Right? And so it's entering a whole new level of being present. And the practical applications of it are unbelievable, because immediately you see, oh, this is how it is all the time, really. I'm not nearly as present to my life as it's going by, moment to moment, as I thought I was. And that itself can be a surprise. Most people think they're mindful. If you ask them, oh, yeah, I'm pretty mindful. Oh, yeah, I know mindfulness. I know concentration. Yeah, sure, I'm concentrated. No, we're not. We're not. It's a relative potential. Of course, we are a little bit. But now we're entering, and it has to be like, oh yeah, we're really kind of gathering all of these wild energies. We're trying to settle them down, calm them down. That's why calm is the precursor to concentration, not striving. Nowhere in there is striving a prerequisite to concentration. Striving actually creates resistance and more struggle. You know? It's about alert and relaxed, alert and relaxed. And so there's a whole drama that plays out there in concentration practice. And the very first thing is to really get it, that it's a rather long-term project, and there are many levels to it. And it starts keeping it simple, and starting to be aware when tension starts to come in, settle that out right away. When I start to want to I want to catch it. I want to grab the breath. I want to hold the breath. I want to hold it still. You know, that's a natural inclination. It's a natural inclination. And that's not quite the way. That's not quite the way. We don't want to go down that road too far. And notice that when it arises, and back off of it. Okay? The breath is already moving all on its own. It's about joining with the already moving breath. Yeah. But we want to get in there. There's a natural tendency. I want to get in there and take hold of it. Right? Not about taking hold of it. It's about, in fact, it's, you've heard us say this, it's loosening the grip. It's learning to loosen the grip in general. Concentration is teaching us about loosening the grip uh, throughout. And the practical application is loosening the grip in a lot of places in our life. That's what the unbinding is. We're bound up in a lot of different ways. And that starts to show up in concentration. And so getting that right from the beginning is so helpful. Yeah. Keeping it simple, keeping it softer. We hear us say softening a lot. Softening. Yeah. It's easy does it. It's easy does it. And that's why the qualities that are most important in concentration are calm and interest. When we're really interested, when we become really interested in something, we're not as likely to wander away. When I'm watching a sunset, we get them really powerfully here every night. When I'm watching a sunset, my mind isn't wandering away to something else because I'm interested. Yeah. But we're not interested that much in the breath. And so much of it is, how do I come back with interest? Yeah. If interest is the mother of concentration, if interest and calm are the mother of concentration, then I need to be um, cultivating interest and calm. I need to see if I'm interested and if there's some ease there. Is there interest and ease there? How can I bring more interest and ease to the practice of concentration? Not how can I try harder? Got it? How can I get more interest? I don't have to try harder to pay attention to a sunset, right? It's just that the interest is naturally there. Yeah, that's what I want to bring. I want to bring that to the breath as if that were a sunset. You'll hear us say that as if it were interesting to you, as if it were. Oh, yeah, yeah. So we'll be staying with this for the month. Super important and super humbling. Yeah? And it can get us into all kinds of sticky wickets and frustrations and the feeling of failure can come up with concentration in a big way, and we got to see that. Oh right, got it. Right, it's a practice. I just have to keep playing my scales again, like musical scales. Simple practice. How do I just smooth out the breath? How do I soften the breath? And how do I stay with it? How do I flow with it? How do I take some interest in that, the flow of that breath? Yeah, yeah. So kindness and inner compassion and smiling a little bit like, wow. Yeah, yeah. That all helps with concentration. Okay, all will help. Huh? Yeah. So good, good, good. So let's try that this morning. Let's practice together. Okay. Yeah. And yeah. Yeah, good, good. So opening up first, opening up, opening up. I forgot this thing. I forgot whether I'm supposed to stop the recording now or at the end of the whole thing. I don't even remember. It is unbelievable. I don't remember that. So I honestly don't remember. Does anybody know? One of you teachers out there, let me know if I'm supposed to stop it now, okay? So open up the body. Opening up. And when you're ready, uh, slowing it down a little bit, slowing it down, lightly closing the eyes, lightly closing the eyes. And bringing some attention to the breath, which is uh, noticing that the breath is already moving. Honestly, at the beginning of many sittings, most sittings, I simply have that reflection, that notice. It's not a reflection, it's noticing it clearly that the breath is already moving. And I'm already amazed by that and really pleased by that and grateful for that. And it gets me connected with the breath in a different way immediately. I'm not simply paying attention to the sensations of the breath, you know, which it gets boring really quickly if I just go to that. I first need to be amazed by it a little bit. That wow, the heart is beating and the breath is moving. And then it's more like I want to slide into this relationship with the already moving breath. I want to join the kind of joining the attention with it as it's moving. Well, and however you can take a little bit more interest in that, however you can bring interest to that and care and ease, which is why we or say orient toward a comfortable breath. Because all of that is the forerunner, is the beginning, is the setting up the conditions for concentration to arise. Ease and comfort and interest. Not too tight and not too loose. It's that balanced energy, that energy with interest. This is the training. This is the cultivation. Of course, the attention will slip away many times. And so much of concentration is the willingness, when you notice that, to return bearing gifts, to return with interest, to return with care to the next breath, to this next already moving breath. We all know that feeling of being with something that you don't want to turn away from. It might be something beautiful in nature. It's really that feeling that we're trying to bring in here, as if the breath were something that you really were so lovely, were so interesting, so compelling. You don't want to turn away from it. That's the sentiment that we want to bring again and again and again. And it's not about willpower here. This is a delicate process. It needs our caring attention. Softening. In the last few minutes, softening a bit more. Just loosening the grip, wherever that may be, allowing the breath to come to you. It's already moving. It's receiving the breath. Receiving.